December 7th, 2016. Novak Charles Nikic, 5 pounds, 12 ounces, 18 inches long. This is from my mother. Yesterday, I sent out an email telling how important December 7th, D-Day, is in our country's history, but I had no idea of just how important it would be for our family history. Just 17 minutes after midnight on December 7th, Katie gave natural birth just after 4 hours of getting to Tampa General. Mom and baby are doing fine. Since Novak is only 33 weeks, he will have to stay in the intensive care unit until they make sure he is eating and gaining. My mother woke me up with a picture of Katie and the baby at 7:08 this morning and the email above. I just realized that the tax ID number for Big Cat Rescue is 59-333-0495. The 59 is for the state of Florida. The 0495 was the month and day of incorporation. The 333, which has always been a special number for me, turned out to be Big Daddy's infantry division. And then I'm not sure where this came from. I didn't write this. December 7th, 1941. Obviously, because I wasn't around. At 7:55 a.m. Hawaii time, a Japanese dive bomber bearing the red symbol of the rising sun of Japan on its wings appears out of the clouds over the island of Oahu. A swarm of 360 Japanese warplanes followed, descending on the U.S. naval base at Pearl Harbor in a ferocious assault. The surprise attack struck a critical blow against the U.S. Pacific Fleet and drew the United States irrevocably into World War II. With diplomatic negotiations with Japan breaking down, President Franklin D. Roosevelt and his advisors knew that an imminent Japanese attack was probable, but nothing had been done to increase security at the important naval base at Pearl Harbor. It was Sunday morning, and many military personnel had been given passes to attend religious services off base. At 7:02 a.m., 2 radar operators spotted large groups of aircraft in flight toward the island from the north, but with a flight of B-17s expected from the United States at any time, they were told to sound no alarm. Thus, the Japanese air assault came as a devastating surprise to the naval base. Much of the Pacific Fleet was rendered useless. 5 of the 8 battleships, 3 destroyers, and 7 other ships were sunk or severely damaged, and more than 200 aircraft were destroyed. A total of 2,400 Americans were killed, and 1,200 were wounded, many while valiantly attempting to repulse the attack. Japan's losses were some 30 planes, 5 midget submarines, and fewer than 100 men. Fortunately for the United States, all 3 Pacific Fleet carriers were out at sea on training maneuvers. These giant aircraft carriers would have their revenge against Japan 6 months later at the Battle of Midway, reversing the tide against the previously invincible Japanese Navy in a spectacular victory. The day after Pearl Harbor was bombed, President Roosevelt appeared before a joint session of Congress and declared, "Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy, the United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan." After a brief and forceful speech, he asked Congress to approve a resolution recognizing the state of war between the United States and Japan. The Senate voted for war against Japan by 82-0, with the House of Representatives approving the resolution by a vote of 388-1. The sole dissenter was Representative Jeanette Rankin of Montana, a devout pacifist, who had also cast a dissenting vote against the U.S. entrance into World War I. 3 days later, Germany and Italy declared war against the United States, and the U.S. government responded in kind. The American contribution to the successful Allied war spanned 4 long years and cost more than 400,000 American lives. My grandfather, Big Daddy, is the handsome one on the left. If you enjoy these video blogs of my diary, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.